Immersed in the profound wisdom of the Shandilya Bhakti Sutras, ancient verses, revered as a pinnacle of devotion and spiritual awareness. Under the guidance of His Holiness Swami Jyotirmayananda, plunge into the infinite ocean of this revered scripture. Discover its hidden truths. Embrace its transformative power. Awaken to new realms of divine love and spiritual awareness. The depths are calling. The deeper you dive, the more treasures you'll discover. And now, Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda.
Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Om. Adorations to Lord Krishna, the preceptor of the universe, destroyer of the forces of darkness, the bestower of immortality. Shandilya Bhakti Sutras, Sutra number 50. We are halfway. Pranitvat na vibhutishu. Devotion to his vibhutis cannot lead to bhakti, para bhakti, because they are related to ordinary living beings. This relates to the 10th chapter of the Gita, which is called Vibhuti Pad or Vibhuti Adhyaya, where Krishna speaks of numerous manifestations, glorious manifestations that abound in the world. And a devotee should allow his mind to turn to God by recognizing the vibhutis. To give you in a simple way, if you go into a temple or a church, I will look around. On the walls you will find great writings. It may be Asatoma, Sadgamaya, Tamasoma, Jyotirgamaya, or writings like Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. Or you have 10 commandments. So wherever you turn, temple has been arranged in such a way that your mind is associated with something divine. Now, adopt it in a more extensive way. The entire creation is a vast temple. Everything should inspire you. If you are truly healthy in a profound way. In Sanskrit, health term is Swasthya. Swa means the self. Stha, be established in it. When you are rooted in the self, when you have full awareness of who am I, then the entire universe is your own expression. You become a magic, mystical flower, and the entire world is the aroma of that flower. You become the sun, and the entire universe are the radiations of that sun. Would you like to be that? However, to lead your mind to that magnanimous state of enlightenment, help is needed. So, Lord Krishna presents before you some select objects, select things which have a special impact on your mind. Among the luminaries, I am the sun. Among the waters, I am the ocean. Among high things, I am the Himalayas. And so, Vibhuti Yoga goes on giving you, I'll just give you a few of the vibhutis in the word. Adityanam aham Vishnu Jyotisham Raviransuman Marichih Marutamasmi Nakshatranam aham Shashi. I am Vishnu among the Adityas. Again, all these writings have great depth in them. Every month is presided by an aspect of Lord Vishnu. In the Hindu writings, Vishnu is the sustaining aspect of God, is the sustainer. The major avatars, they always relate to Lord Vishnu. But in a broad way, you must understand that there is only one God. So if you happen to turn your mind to Shiva, Shiva is another aspect of Vishnu. Shiva, Brahma, Vishnu, they are all the same. But scriptures abound with stories of Rama, Krishna. 12 months, each month is presided by an Aditya, an aspect of Vishnu. Among all these, the 12 months are variable names. The underlying reality is Lord Vishnu. It's Lord Vishnu who manifests in January, manifests in February. He changes his little colors in March. And he comes on the Fool's Day. It's all variations that happen during the year. They are manifestations, variations of Lord Vishnu. So we are in touch with God at every moment. And you can turn your mind to God in so many ways, not in one particular way. At the very outset, let me give you a simpler illustration. When you teach children how to read, how to write, children are introduced to the vowels and consonants, but every letter is written in the beginning in a big capital or in a very broad way. Every letter is highlighted. Later, when the child has learnt well, then he can handle literature in a more complex way. Many times, people write which a doctor writes, only a doctor can understand. A lawyer writes, only a lawyer can understand. But you are well studied. You can read even the complex literature, complex handwriting. The entire universe is the handwriting of God. And there isn't a situation, there isn't an object, internally and externally, which is not permeated by God's glory. God is the stuff behind it. You say, how can that be possible? Very simple illustration. In your dream, you are in a world of time and space, in a world where there are countless personalities, countless objects. But what is the essence of all that? Your own consciousness. Your own consciousness spreads out in all forms of multiplicity. So therefore, allow your mind to understand a simple spiritual fact that divine self is pure awareness. The entire world reflects in God by Maya. Maya is cosmic illusion. But then coming back, in the beginning, just like for a student, you introduce to the student every letter in a big way. A, B, C. You are learning Hindi and ka, kha, ga. And then you gradually teach students how to handle them, how to write in different ways. Then each student finds his own way, evolves his own handwriting. Same way, The entire world is a great book. And as you advance, as you gradually grow, progress, first your mind is directed to big letters. The biggest letter in the day you face is the sun. So you are reminded the sun is the glory of God. By the time you lift your head, the wind whips you. So you are reminded wind also is God. Another glory of God. Your attention turns to a little blossoming flower. That also is the glory of God. Behold the lilies of the field. So just to give you some idea, I will read out a few of these vibhutis. I am Vishnu among the Adityas. I am the radiant sun among the luminaries. Among the Maruts, I am Marichi, a special type of Maruts refer to different forms of breeze, wind. Marichi is a soft, gentle breeze. Among the stars, I am the moon. Now you must realize when we give all these poetic illustrations, don't use your scientific mind. Then you say, oh, stars are not ordinary. They can be big suns. Moon is just nothing. No, just based on very simple perception. The moon shines. And therefore, moon is beckoning your mind to God. All values are like stars that fade away before the waxing moon. Vedanam samavedosmi devanam asmi vasavah indriyanam manashchasmi bhutanam asmi chetana. I am Samaveda among the Vedas. Samaveda is filled with poetic verses. I am Indra among the gods. Gods are the presiding deities of your senses. And Indra is symbolic presence of Brahman. Therefore, senses are called Indriyas. They are instruments vitalized by the presence of Brahman. God is the one who is using your eyes, using your ears. For the time being, you say, I am the one who uses. When I like, I open the eye. But behind your eye, there is a profounder I am. You are just an instrument. Therefore, the simple question, who is the knower? Who is the hearer? It leads you to the revelation. I am, that am I. I am the mind among the Indriyas. Indriyas relate to 5 senses of perceptions, 5 organs of action, and mind. So in this group of 11, mind is supermost. So if you develop a taste for thinking about God and His majesty, you don't have to go far and wide. His glory manifests through your own mind. You have to study your mind. How wondrous things are created by your mind. In a moment, your mind can make your life miserable. In a moment, can fill your life with joy. Therefore, if your mind thinks about the mind and develops love of God, that's the purpose of studying vibhutis, all the glories of God. Vasunam pavakaschasmi, meruh shikharinam aham. Among the Vasus, I am the fire god. And among the mountains, I am Meru. Sarasam asmi sagara. I am the ocean among lakes and rivers. Sthavaranam Himalaya. Among the immovables, I am the Himalayas. Ashwatha Sarvavrikshanam. Among the trees, I am Ashwatha, another name for peepal tree, another name for banyan tree. Whenever it is pointed out like that, that doesn't mean that you underestimate other trees. All trees are expressing the glory of God. Now, among the glories, Lord Krishna has mentioned even a king. King is among human beings, one who rules, has a special quality. That quality has been given to him by God. Naranam Narathipa. Among human beings, I am the one who rules, the ruler. And also, in 51st Sutra, Dhyutaraja Sevayo Pratishedhacha, scriptures prohibit gambling and service to a king. Therefore, king is a vibhuti not to be viewed on par with avatars. Shandilya is pointing out that every vibhuti is not to be taken in the same level. Vibhutis are fingers pointing to the glory of God. So don't go after the fingers. Glory of God is the main avatara. Otherwise, you will get into big trouble. Because when we say the king is an aspect of a glory of God, people who have little mind, they will just cling to a king by hook or by crook. But that is not the purpose. Also, in the writings of Vibhuti, Lord Krishna says, Dhyutanam chalayatamasmi. Dhyutam chalayatamasmi. I am gambling among the fraudulent. All types of frauds that you practice. Among them, gambling highlights. Now, if you take it wrongly, then people will say, even Krishna likes gambling. The gambling is his glory. So why not indulge in it? The subtle meaning behind is profound. The scriptures illustrate what happens to people who are addicted to gambling. In Mahabharata, lots of turmoil happened because of gambling. Duryodhana encouraged the Pandavas in gambling. All the things they had acquired were lost because of the rolling of the dice. And many lives have changed. There have been people who turned into great Mahatmas led by gambling. Because gambling stripped them of all they had. So vibhutis are to be understood from different angles. Sometimes adversity becomes a vibhuti. Prosperity makes your mind shallow. Not always, but if it does, then it is not real prosperity. Adversity, on the other hand, makes your mind mature, devotional, more alert to your profounder needs. Then that adversity is the glory of God, vibhuti. Vasudeve iti chet na akaramatratvat. Among the description, enumeration of vibhutis, Krishna has used his own personality as his vibhuti. The Sutra simply says that this is just enumerating among various things. The highlight of Krishna is avatar aspect. He is not one of the many vibhutis. If it be said that this prohibition applies to Vasudeva, when we mentioned gambling, Shandilya is saying gambling is not to be practiced. In the same way, he speaks of himself, I am son of Vasudeva. Now, question arises that in the same way, just like gambling is prohibited, why not turning your mind to son of Vasudeva be prohibited? Say, come into the same category. Not so. Because the role of Krishna is all through the scripture, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Krishna is same as God. You must realize every avatar is the most profound symbolism of the absolute self. And your mind should not view an avatar as a historical personality. Therefore, every scripture points out to the fact, Nana Bhati Rama Avatara. There has been countless incarnations of Rama. There has been countless incarnations of Krishna. There are countless incarnations of God with the same name, Rama, Krishna. And therefore, there are countless stories. Stories sometimes are very different. Valmiki's Ramayana has a different setup of story. Ends up with a joyous end that Rama and Sita, they lived together for thousands of years, and that's it, forever. Valmiki, on the other hand, sent Sita away. And Rama lives without Sita for a long time. All these have different symbolic meaning, mystical meanings. They are not to be viewed as historical writings. The same applies with Lord Jesus. People have different views about Lord Jesus. Quran pictures Lord Jesus in a totally different way. The Bible holds the story of Jesus in a different way. But you are not Christian because of being true to history. But you become Christian because you love God. And there have been many manifestations like Christ. That again it offends. If the mind has become too limited, the idea that there are many Christs. No, Christ, the only one. But that problem doesn't arise in Hindu religion. They hear again and again. There have been many Ramas. See, in one Rama story, certain things have happened which you have not read. It doesn't matter. Because all things that are told about Avatara, they are not. The purpose of telling all that is to help your mind to move towards God. Not to give you a historical detail. History will not save you. Pratyavijnanacha, speaking about the vibhuti, that whether Krishna himself is a vibhuti or an avatara. Sutra discusses this point. And because of his being recognized as avatara, as God, the Upanishads speak of the statement in the Upanishad, son of Devaki is Vishnu. Madhusudana is Brahman. Vrishnishu Shreshthena Tat. Because of his superiority among the Vrishnis, the same topic goes on in this sutra, that among people who were known as Vrishnis, a particular clan, they were well known for their greatness and glory. Among them, I am Vasudeva. Here the context is enumerating people and objects that convey a sense of excellence. So Krishna has a double role. He is a personality, a person, a son, a human being. As such, he is excellent among the Vrishnis. But that description is minor. The real description of him, he is avatara, he is Brahman. Now, how is it applied in your sadhana? Firstly, you become initiated into a mantra. If you are devotee of Rama, then you are given a mantra, Om Shri Ramaya Namah, or just Ram, Ram, Shri Ram. If you are devotee of Krishna, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, or Om Shri Krishnaya Namah. And similarly, and you can be initiated into Shiva, Devi, different types of mantras. Your mind must understand mantra relates to the absolute self, Brahman. Every avatara points to Brahman, the absolute. Therefore, you read in the Ramayana that Rama is greater than thousands of Vishnus, thousands of Shivas, thousands of Brahmas. If your mind is not well prepared, you will get upset. The implication is, in the stage of practicing sadhana, you are using a mental concept. No matter how great is the concept according to you, the God is million times greater than that concept. And that is, your Ishtadevata is the God. So if it is Rama, then that Rama is Brahman, the absolute. You worship him with form, it is called Sagun Brahman, Sagun Sakar. That's because that's the reality of the mind. If you present to the mind something abstract about God, mind can't handle it. Intellect handles it. Intellectuals, oh, I know, I've read the Upanishad. Which page? What are you asking of? I know everything. Intellect can handle it, but intellect is not all of you. Your personality is not just based on intellectual information. So therefore, you are a person with heart, with imagination. And all these aspects are fulfilled when you turn to Rama in the form of picture of Rama with Sita, Hanuman, or Krishna, or whomsoever. That picture serves the purpose of Sagun Brahman. Also, it directs your mind to various stories associated with avatar. It enters into your bloodstream. I'm using figurative language. It enters into the fabric of your personality, your will, your reason, your action, your emotion. An avatara must grip all in a gentle way. Like a mother enfolds a child, an avatara enfolds you, and you must become more and more aware of that divine love enfolding you, squeezing you until you are nothing. So you are led from Sagun Sakar to another level. Your mind is not so much after exactly what is the adornment of Krishna on his head. Is it really the peacock feather? All those details are good at the beginning. In next level, it is presence of Krishna is abstract. Even in the physical world, if you have been separated from your mother for a while, now the first stage is come to your mother, look at her. How does she look now? But having looked at her, now you are entering into a heart level, the feeling level, compassion level. At that stage, you are not looking at the body. Same way, your mind moves away from the picture aspect. You start working with God, who is boundless in his love. Thousands of mothers and fathers are put together, the source of all love. God who is boundless peace, boundless bliss. Use boundless always to be sure. Because whatever concept you have is very limited. He shines like the sun. But the scripture adds it like millions of suns. And then, as your mind handles it, mind begins to subside. You are led from Sagun Sakar to absolute abstraction. Nirgun Nirakar. Mind is no longer interested in counting the qualities of God. From a distance, you appreciate the ocean. You look at it from every angle, count its waves. But when you have entered into the ocean, doesn't matter. We're not counting the waves. When you have come closer to God, you are not counting the qualities. Your mind just begins to be lulled, begins to fade away. Then you have come to Nirgun, Nirakar aspect. No form, no qualities. And then, beyond that is realization. You enter into God, you become blended with God. All mental concepts are transcended. But again, when you come to communicate yourself with others, that will be a different matter. You have to communicate according to the level of mind. If a French person comes, speak in French. The English comes, speak in English. You have to communicate in their language. If you deal with a child, be a little childish. Same thing. But your realization remains unaffected. Though your dealing with others will be in different levels. Evam prasiddheshu cha. In the same way, liberation is attained by devotion towards the well-known manifestations of the Lord. So, you are not limiting the target of your meditation, that only you have to be Rama or Krishna or Buddha, according to your religious orientation, according to your faith. Whoever appears to your mind as the presence of God in whatever symbolism, use that. Be sure that it has been used by many sages. Don't create anything new because it doesn't have that backing of psychic power behind it. Okay, with this we conclude. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Thank you for joining us on this journey of spiritual growth. It's an honor to learn from the wisdom of Swami Jyotirmayananda. As we part for now, remember, the quest does not end. Take time to reflect on today's insights and integrate them into your life. Until next time, stay open, stay curious, stay present. The light within you is always shining.